You feel the walls caving in, the pain rising from your chest as you lay curled in your bed, consumed by a tremendous burden that never seems to go away. As the hours and days pass by, you keep asking yourself, why God? Why must I suffer like this? Why won't it all go away? What do I have to do to return to those fleeting moments of joy, those fleeting moments of happiness that seem so far away? Now you finally comprehend what Schopenhauer meant by suffering being the positive, while happiness is the negative, or the temporary relief from suffering. You are and will continue to suffer no matter how much you desire to run away from it. To believe that life can be lived without suffering is a lost cause. The only thing you can do right now is to accept that it is your destiny to do so. Simply put, to live is to suffer, and without this agony, you would not know your limits, and ultimately, you would not know yourself. Just as fire tests gold, hardship tests great men, and it is almost as if the rank of men is determined by how profoundly they can suffer. For profound suffering makes one noble.
From God we come, and unto God we shall return.
It is true that all good and noble in you for which you are praised or loved is merely profound suffering, the right kind, the living kind of suffering. And it is from this profound acceptance of the pain you are experiencing that meaning is found. Think back to your times of growth and self-renewal. Did it not come from facing the pain you experienced after a heartbreak or failure? So I say that you have not suffered enough, even if you've labored long and hard in waves and war. You must add to the total and bring the trial on. There is no need to be ashamed of the tears you have shed, for tears bear witness that you have the greatest courage, the courage to suffer. Get up and act. Stop wallowing in sorrow and self-pity, for you suffer more in your imagination than in reality. And I would rather face the greatest truth, which is that life is difficult. Once this is understood, can you confront reality and realize that the difficulty in life no longer matters. Only then will you know that there's only one way that remains. If you want to free yourself from suffering, you must accept the repressed parts of your soul. You must love your inferiority, even your vices, so that what is degenerate in you can resume development. Even if you accept that suffering is inevitable, the question remains, why is life so full of it? Why would God allow you to go through all this pain and torment and still expect you to worship Him? Life, as we know, is not complete without the trials of suffering and the inevitability of death. Hardships are necessary for growth, as it is through adversity and failure that growth occurs. When you let that suffering overwhelm you, the only person you're feeling is yourself, not the person you blame it on or God for allowing it to happen. Why? Because you're running from the trial, and at the end of your personal hell lies the heaven you so dearly sought when all seemed lost. The truth is that a life without adversity causes the greatest stress, because you'll suffer more when you have nothing to do than if you were to face what lies ahead of you. Therefore, suffering is a necessity for you to grow and become the man you so desire to be. Now tell me, why are you crying about what you are going through when the only thing that you should dread is not to be worthy of your hardships? You should instead be extraordinarily and passionately in love with your suffering, as God only tests those who He loves.
I am not those men. I am Salahuddin. Salahuddin.
Suffer, for your Lord knows that the only way you'll come closer to Him is by undergoing the trials He puts forth for you to overcome. How else will God bestow His mercy upon you? Your Lord loves you and He desires you to return to Him. Therefore, He will not burden your soul with more than what it can bear. Be grateful that you're dealing with much, as it shows the high expectations your Creator has for you, because He knows that you have not reached your limits yet. And if that is the case, the only option you have is to rise to the occasion. You must tell your heart now that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, for no heart has suffered when it searches for its dreams, because every second of the search is a second's encounter with God. In life, it's not a matter of if we will suffer, it is a matter of how we will suffer. The fun we chase, the leisurely things, are a mere temporary fix to the perpetual suffering of life. They serve as the lies we run after to avoid arising to the moment, because we fear the prospects of failure more than the suffering we experience now. So will you continue to choose the cheap suffering you are currently satisfied with? Or will you walk the path the heroes and saints before you did? You must rise above your outward fate and choose to be worthy of the suffering God knows and believes you will overcome. Verily, it is this exact moment of suffering, the moment when everything feels hopeless and bleak, which produces not only weak men, but also men of strength. Those men of strength who plunge headfirst into suffering uttering the phrase, "He shall not know what destiny is until he has suffered to the degree he wishes to achieve his greatest desire."